was actually ended up being very competitive, very close, had some lead changes, kind of had a little bit of everything you want in a rivalry game, Paulie.
Yeah, it had everything. And it might be a sign that that BYU and the dominance that Utah had over BYU during the independent era, during, some of the other eras of Utah BYU Holy War battles. But it seems as if BYU has really taken the upper cut, the upper edge, now, because they've won 3 in a row. And last year's game was thrilling, but Utah was on their 4th quarterback that year. This year, both teams were at full strength, and BYU won in a convincing manner. So I still think that I was wrong. I thought Utah, they'd played Texas Tech. They got drummed, but they'd still played somebody legit. I think ECU, Colorado, Stanford, Portland State, none of those teams scare me. But now BYU has proven in a big stage, in a big game, that they got a much-needed W, and they have the inside track to the Big 12 title game now. So you got to be happy if you're a Cougar fan this morning, playing a little Rise and Shout this morning to wake up.
Yeah, despite what Dave Portnoy says, the swig tastes good this morning.
Yeah.
NBA season begins this week. NBA season is tipping off. Jazz will play their first regular season game Wednesday at home against the Clippers. Utah went 17-65 last season, last in the Western Conference. They slid down to number 5 in the ping pong ball draft lottery. Ended up taking Aurelius Bailey.
Yes.
And Ace Bailey and the Utah Jazz trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2022. They haven't made the playoffs last couple seasons, haven't even sniffed the playoffs last couple of seasons. Mammoth. Utah Mammoth have won 3 straight, Paul.
I watched that last night.
Beat the Boston Bruins 3-2 at home. Dylan Gunther scored the decisive goal midway through the third period. Also, Cooley and Keller scored. So all the big guns getting a goal last night for the Utah Mammoth.
All the guns, and they played a great game in net. Vitek Vanacek, former Capital Devil. He's been around the block for a bunch of different teams, but he stood tall in net last night. I was watching this game on my iPad as the Mariners and the Sunday Night Football. And, this was a good game for the Mammoth. A comeback win. Power play goals were big in this one. Their power play unit looks pretty good. With all the shooters they have, they've got a lot of guys that can score on that power play with Keller and Paterka and Schmaltz, who had a hat trick just the other night. I mean, they've got some guys, I think, that are going to be putting a good offensive game forward. Now, defensively, I think they've got some strides to make, but we'll see. And net and offensively, the Mammoth are pretty much fine-tuned right now.
There are a lot of Utah Mammoth fans thinking playoffs right now. I know it is really early, but I think that is on a lot of hockey fans' minds right now for the Utah Mammoth. Long way to go, though. Long way to go.
Knights are playing tonight.
Yeah,
Monday night.
Beat Boston Saturday night. Then they played the Mammoth last night. Knights back in action tonight.
Yeah, they got the Hurricanes, which is
a good Eastern Conference team.
Really good team. 5-0, undefeated Carolina Hurricanes right now. Minus 110 either way. You normally don't see that with the Knights at home. It tells you that a good team's coming into T-Mobile tonight.
Correct. Other news, Utah State got back in the win column.
Yeah.
Aggies beat San Jose State Friday night, 30-25. SUU upsets Abilene Christian, 13th ranked team in the FCS.
Yeah.
And they win 31-24. Good to see Bronson Barron back out there after missing a game and coming off the bye week with the knee and the run game and being back home. Cedar City, that is just their second win of the season.
Yeah.
But they do take a little bit of momentum into this week's rivalry game. It's SUU at Utah Tech this Saturday night, 6 o'clock. It's going to be live on the Fan Sports Network, live on ESPN Plus, all the pageantry of the week. All the homecoming, the parade, the dance, what do they do? All kinds of stuff down on campus. Very, very fun week for the students. Is the interesting thing though? They're scheduling homecoming week this week against SUU, Paulie.
Yeah, that's right. But I think a guy needs to be pointed out here. I know he's had great stats throughout the entire season for SUU, but I thought Targi Lamson's loss would be much bigger for the T-Birds than it has been. But they really haven't had any deficiencies in the backfield. The last 5 games for Joshua Dye play go like this: 171 and 4 touchdowns, 155 and 1, 56 and 2, 189 and 4, and 179 and 2 against Abilene Christian. He is your offensive MVP for the T-Birds.
He's been tremendous.
He has been the best player for them.
And for a team that, lost some pieces on the line to graduation, including one to the NFL, this is a really good offensive line.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the defense has not been as good, and that's part of the reason the record is what it is. They've been losing shootouts.
Yeah.
But hey, you beat the number 13 team in the country by a touchdown and a little better performance holding an opponent to 24 points. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a pretty good job. And I think Delane Fitzgerald, how about them T-Birds he put on social media after the win against number 13. Had to feel good when you're losing a bunch of games. They hadn't won since the season opener.
Yeah.
That had to feel really good on a Saturday night to notch that victory over the 13th team in the country.
Kind of, a soft landing spot for them throughout the rest of the season. I mean, they got Utah Tech this week, a rivalry game that should be tough. Home to Austin Peay, who's good. Eastern Kentucky away, who's not very good. Central is not very good. Arkansas and North Alabama to end the season. I got a 2-5, a 2-5, a 3-4, a 2-5, and a 1-5 for them to go.
And look, if they won out, they could get to 7 wins and still have a chance to maybe get one of the last spots in the FCS bracket postseason. But they would have to win out for that to be a reality.
Yeah.
Now, usually it's at least 7 wins to get in. There's some good teams that they've lost to closely that they could have changed that and made that a little easier.
West Georgia, 3-point loss, only a 10-point loss at Tarleton, a 3-point loss at Northern Arizona, a 3-point loss at San Diego. So, they've had their tight games.
Well, remember, they were leading number 3 Tarleton State at halftime by a touchdown.
But they say that's the mark, difference between a good team and a great team is closing out games and winning those tight 3 to 7-point games. So they just really haven't had it in the fourth quarter this year to close out football games.
Couple other things. Trailblazers women's soccer blanked Abilene Christian yesterday at Greater Zion Stadium. 2 freshmen scoring goals. They win 2-0. SU girls soccer tied 1-1 in their final home match of the season. So they tied 1-1 with Tarleton State. So those are a couple other local scores for you. Last time out, men's soccer team, the Trailblazers lost 2-1 down in San Diego against San Diego State. That one was on Saturday. Of course, tonight, big one it's a big sports night, right? You've got Game 7 in the American League. You've got doubleheader on Monday Night Football with the Lions and Bucks. And then that's followed at 8 o'clock by the Seahawks and the Texans. But also at 7:30 tonight, you've got Snow Canyon, Desert Hills, 2-seed Warriors, 7-seed Thunder playing for a spot in the 4A Girls State Championship game. Again, 7:30 kickoff. This is a game that was originally supposed to be up at Harriman, I think. But both teams said, why do we want to drive up to Harriman to play a semifinal game? Let's move it to Greater Zion Stadium. Both teams agreed. UHSAA signed off on that last Friday.
Yeah.
And they've moved that game down. They had availability to put it at Greater Zion Stadium on a Monday night. So they're going to play that game tonight, 7:30. I'm going to be over there. Caden's going to join me. It'll be me and Caden streaming that game for KSLSports.com. We'll put the links up on our website as well, thefansportsnetwork.com. So anybody that can't make that game, you will be able to watch that semifinal game. The other game is Ridgeline Park City. That'll be played up north, and then the winners will meet. But instead of busing up and then coming home and then busing back up, you're just busting up one game for a state championship. It makes sense to move this game down, and we're excited to help out and broadcast that game tonight for you. So looking forward to it. I'm going to be over at Wingnuts. Of course, Monday Night Football will be broadcasting live from 4 to 6, inviting you to come down for the Bucks and the Lions and the Texans and the Seahawks and Game 7, Mariners and Blue Jays. Should be a fun night at Wingnuts. We're going to have lots of prizes to give away, 2 jerseys to give away. I'm rocking my Mariners shirt today for good luck. I haven't broke this out yet, so I broke it out for Game 7. I haven't broken out the entire postseason.
It's the time.
If you're going to break it out from Game 1 and you're wearing it all the time, a jersey, great. But I hadn't been doing that with the Mariners, and today I felt like it was time to just
And you're not a guy that believes in bad luck and all that stuff.
No.
You don't believe in that, so you're not worried to break out this jersey on Game 7. Yep. All right.
Just changing up the mojo.
All right, changing up the mojo. All right, I got one more. I got a bonus ball actually, as right now is the time of exhibition games in college basketball. And BYU, the Cougars were on the floor in Lincoln to take on Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. They do lose in the exhibition, 90-89. But one thing is going to be a constant all year long for BYU, and that is AJ DeBanza. He had 30 points in his first time donning the Cougar colors.
Wow.
30 points for Mr. DeBanza on 10 of 19 shooting, adding 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 made three-pointers while going a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line.
Got a little bit overlooked with the football game this weekend. It's just an exhibition game.
But I love these exhibitions.
Yeah.
They're also doing the secret exhibition games that people don't hear about.
Correct.
That, West Virginia played one against Maryland the other day. I've been tuned into these college basketball happenings, as the beginning of the season is just the beginning of November. November 2nd, we tip off round ball in the college hoops.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks
and me
away.
and you both harken back to Feast Week. Feast Week, one of the best weeks all year long in college basketball. You get all those preseason tournaments where you see big teams going up against each other. I mean, it's an awesome week. So we're almost there. Almost there. I can taste it.
Crimson Cliffs Mustangs clinched an undefeated Region 9 season as they beat Pineview 56-7. Here is one of the big scores from the game. This is me and Rick Barry over there last Friday night at the field house as Crimson was rolling on senior night.
To the far sideline, one-on-one with Phillips. They're going to take a shot. Phillips up in the end zone, and it is caught.
Touchdown. He was laying on his back. The ball came out, so I had to pause there, but clearly caught it, and then it got stripped out. He'd already controlled it.
Yeah.
And, man, Brenton Phillips, this kid is a big 6'4", 6'5" target. Jackson Holt, Cade Shaw, Tonawai, Andreessen. They put on a show. They did a really good job. They got Madden Dougie Smith a touchdown. They put him as an eligible lineman reporting and ran like a shovel pass to him from 4 yards out. And Dougie scored a touchdown on senior night. This is a kid that's got 4 state championship rings between the baseball and the football program in the last 2 seasons. If he were to three-peat, Paulie.
Yeah.
For a guy like Madden Smith, I know McKay Wright got a fistful of rings and he's graduated, but
right.
Madden could get 6 if he wins another three-peat in football and in baseball. And of course, he was instrumental in the baseball team. He's the anchor on that offensive line on the football team as Crimson just absolutely rolls 56-7. One more highlight clip here from the win for the Mustangs. They are your region champs. They've been at least or outright region champs for 4 straight years.
Door again. A little shovel pass inside to one of the bigs, and it's a touchdown. A little trickeration from Coach Andy Stowe.
Yeah, and it worked.
Trickeration. I love that.
I like the trickeration.
I did too.
Tara probably hasn't heard that.
She hasn't heard that.
We haven't had a lot of trickeration this year. That is my word. It's not even. I don't even know if it's in the dictionary. I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. It's good.
It's Halloween time. It's trickeration time.
I like
trick or treat or trickeration.
Trickeration. Trickeration.
That's right.
That was good.
Crimson, they are your 2 seed, so they have drawn a bye in the upcoming bracket. When you look at Crimson's path, Paulie, actually, let's do this. Let's give you the other scores. Let's come back and let's talk about the bracket for just a minute. But let's finish. Let's finish up our headlines really quickly and tell you the other 2 scores from last Friday night. Hurricane went over to Desert Hills. First win Hurricane has had against Desert Hills since 2013.
Wow.
Okay, it had been 12 seasons since the Tigers had beat the Thunder.
Jerry Cowan. And
Jerry Cowan, in his second attempt, has went on the road on senior night, and not just one, clobbered Desert Hills 34-7.
Yeah, that's a running game that you do not want to mess with when it's running hot. When Brody Jacobs and Trump and Roberts and Gabriel, all of them you never know who has the ball. I've only done 2 Hurricane games this year, but it takes me a couple seconds to ID who has the ball in the backfield with all the window dressing and things they do. So
this is now, unless Desert Hills can rip off a couple playoff wins, like 3, going to be the worst season since they opened the school for Desert Hills.
Wow.
That is not the side of it. And this is Coach Tapp's third year with the program. You should be peaking. Instead, they are nosediving right now. And really, they just don't have a great they don't have great quarterback play this year.
Yeah.
They got a really good offensive line, defensive line. I think their backers and secondary is pretty good. You got a really good running back in Andres.
Yeah.
But the passing game is just not dynamic.
No,
it's just not. You cannot stretch the field.
Teams stack the
You're really
box
limited
against
with your
Desert
play
Hills.
calling.
Yeah.
It's just been one of those years for the Thunder.
Yeah.
The other game last Friday night to wrap up the regular season, Snow Canyon went over to Dixie High School and kept Dixie from winning a single game. Dixie goes without a region win as Snow Canyon gets them 34-13. I know you were at that game, Paulie. There was a number of drops by Dixie receivers again in this game.
There was.
It
And
could have been
offensive
two more
line.
touchamps, maybe, from what I understand, in that game that were
There could have
dropped.
been, but I mean, the offensive line, and I know this probably hits close to home for Coach Liebert being an offensive line coach and offensive lineman in his previous time, but their O-line was really struggling to give Deacon Virgin protection. He was not
been that way all year.
He's not a runner. He's more of a pocket guy. He can run. He's an athletic kid, but he was running out of the pocket all night. They could not protect him. So Snow Canyon defense was swarming. Parker Olson, Brett Beathers, Isaiah Thompson. They've got some nice pieces, and I think that Snow Canyon was kind of making their final preparations for what could be a long playoff run.
All right, so Crimson's the 2 seed, Snow Canyon's the 3, Hurricane's the 4, Pineview's the 6. Dixie and Desert Hills are both in. What are they, 19 and 20, I think? So
Yeah.
They got to go on the road this Friday. Meanwhile, everybody else, those top 4 seeds, all have byes followed by home games on Halloween. So we know we're going to have 4 games in Washington County on Halloween. So, Paulie, if you thought you were going to be going out trick-or-treating, you're not. You're going to be working.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let's break down the bracket a little bit. This came out Saturday. I'm sure you've seen it, but we got some thoughts on it. Who's got the easiest landing spot in the bracket? Who's got the toughest landing spot in the bracket for our local teams? We'll break it down a little bit more in depth when we come back, but that was your top 18 at 8 here on a busy Monday. I don't think we did 18, but a lot of bonus balls in there for you with the headlines. Lots to get to on a Monday. I think we touched it all. Did I miss any headlines?
I don't think
We covered-
so.
we covered
even the
the
BYU
soccer.
exhibition, the hockey, the high school. I think we got it all.
I mean, you are up to date on everything going on locally. If you want more on the football brackets, stick around. We'll show it to you if you're watching on our Drive YouTube page. We'll pop the bracket up if you haven't seen it. If you're listening on radio, we'll paint the picture when we come back. Yeah, we're never sold out, baby. Always free to listen or watch. Again, always streaming now on The Drive. Just go to youtube.com/The Drive. All one word. And when you get to the office, you want to maybe listen from 7:30 to 7:45, and then you're at the office. You want to listen while you're at the office. Download the mobile app, or you could pop us on and watch the show. I got to represent. Got the Trident out. Hoping for first ever World Series appearance for the Seattle Mariners. I'm nervous. It's all going down to one game. But this is what you live for. You live for a Game 7.
Yeah.
You dream about a Game 7.
Yeah.
To put your team into the World Series. And boy, it's going to be tough tonight for the Seattle Mariners. Paul, give me some hope for my M's tonight. We are underdogs. We were slight underdogs last night. We were plus 105. Right now, we're plus anywhere from plus 115 to plus 120. So even a little bit bigger underdog tonight in Toronto for Game 7.
It should be really interesting. I mean, the Mariners' bats have been hot, but the Blue Jays have heated up recently as of the last couple games.
Vlad Jr., man.
Bo Bichette. Like, they just got that Luquez guy that I never even heard of until like a couple weeks ago. Like
Barger, too, man.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
he's-
hot. He's the guy that did some damage last night. So, look, I mean, the Mariners and the Blue Jays were both founded in 1977, but you remember the Blue Jays, they've been to World Series. They won back-to-back World Series when they had Joe Carter back in the day.
Yeah.
And look, these are two teams with zero modern connection to playoff success. I mean, Toronto played in 2 straight league championship series a decade ago, and they lost both times. They last were in the World Series in 1993. So there's history, but not for these players, not in the modern era. The Mariners were founded in 1977, and they've never been to a World Series. They've made the league championship series just 3 times, never winning more than 2 games in a series. So that means tensions are going to be high tonight. Fans are going to be on the edge of their seats. Stands are going to be packed. Everybody's going to be going bananas with every strike, every strikeout, every home run. The good thing, I think, is the Mariners kind of had the poor defensive effort last night and got that out of there. They had not committed 3 errors in a game all season, the whole season, plus the postseason.
Yeah.
And they did last night in a crucial Game 6 scenario. You're going, I mean, and Suarez, that was a tough play to Suarez.
For Suarez, yeah.
You know, they scored an error on J-Rod, having it pop out of his mitt on a bounce. That was just kind of a little too nonchalant, a little lack of focus. I think he was going to get a double anyway. So I mean, the one error cost him 2 runs, but other than that, the other 2 really didn't cost him because Gino made a heck of a play to keep it at just 2 runs with an unbelievable play at third base. But
Gino's the reason they're still in the series.
Yeah, the grand slam in Game 5.
2 home runs.
Yeah, and 2 home runs.
Yeah.
But Vlad Guerrero Jr., holy cow, this guy, defensively, offensively, he is a star. He is a absolute star.
He is. I mean, I remember when he came up.
Savage was great on the mound last night, too. This guy's played 5 starts in the big leagues. He's 22 years old. Like, gritty start from Trey Savage on the bump last night.
Yeah.
But Vlad Guerrero Jr. is probably the most terrifying. I would be just as scared of Vlad right now as I would pitching to Shohei.
Yeah.
I would be just as scared to pitch to Vlad as I would to Cal Raleigh. And Cal didn't have his best game last night. He had a throwing error, and he went 0 for 3 and hit into one of those bases loaded double plays.
Yeah.
I think that's good for him bouncing back tonight.
I don't know if I'm the only one, but I always get into the fact or the thing where the father-sons, like who's going to be better in their career. I mean, Vlad Sr. was a Hall of Famer. He batted .318 for his career, 449 home runs. Do you think Junior gets to those numbers and
if he takes him to a World Series this year and he keeps putting up the numbers he does? Absolutely,
you
could
think
have
he's
him
a
both in the
Hall of Fame? Good track. I mean, I think
he's trending towards a Hall of Fame career. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say so too.
Like, I know that he's playing in the same era with, the Harpers and the Trouts and some of these
He's not
big
as
names like
sexy of the
Shohei.
names. Yeah,
Very
I know.
not as maybe as marketable. He plays in Toronto. But yes, statistically speaking, he is heading towards a Hall of Fame career. I truly believe that. And this postseason shows you he's clutch.
Yeah, he's super clutch. I just think that now, like, comparing eras, it's just weird.
It's difficult.
They were batting way better average back in those days. I don't know what Junior's. He's a 288 career, so not too bad, but his dad 318. Yeah. So, a little more batting
These pitchers
average.
with the knuckle and the slider and the splitter, and then everybody's touching 98. Like, it's just tough. The pitching is so good nowadays compared to where it was 25 years ago.
I agree.
Yeah,
the velo's higher, the movement is more significant.
And I think there's an emphasis now on the long ball. The launch angle, the home run. There's not as much small ball in today's baseball, and you've seen that through these playoffs. The teams that are winning are knocking the big home runs. That's just been the constant throughout at least the Blue Jays Mariners series. Whichever team in the game is hitting the long ball, like the Geno win, the 2 home runs, the grand slam, that propelled them to victory.
You still have to have the gap to gap, though, because you don't get grand slams if you don't have people on base.
That's right.
That's the problem. Seattle is living by the home run and dying by the home run. In the games they're winning, they're hitting it. When the games they're losing, they're not hitting it.
That's my point. Yeah.
That is scary. I kind of feel like we're swinging for the fences a little bit too often. I think Naylor is the only guy I trust at the plate to take the right approach and pitch to contact. And he still had a 2-for-3 night with a home run last night.
He did. A single home run, but again, you didn't win the game. So you've still got to go gap to gap and get people on bases. And then still hit the long ball, so you get those, a two-run home run or a 3-run home run.
No, I agree with
whatever.
you. I'm just saying that the Mariners, like what he's saying too, is they rely on it too much. Way too much. It's a too big of a percentage. If you have a pie of the Mariners offense, a huge chunk of it, runs scored, comes from the home run. So that was what I was trying to say.
Look, Mariners backs were against the wall, losing 2 straight at home, and then they got the Suarez grand salami. Last night in Game 6. It was Toronto's turn, and they're facing elimination, and they get a great start from Savage, and they get a huge performance by Vargas and Vlad Guerrero Jr., and the Mariners looked a little sloppy. I can't make excuses. Season high 3 errors. They never could capitalize when they had runners on, and they had been the team with the bases loaded that had been capitalizing, and that flipped the script last night, and here we go. 8:08 first pitch Eastern time, so 6:06 or 6:08 Mountain time first pitch, Game 7. It'll be George Kirby and Shane Bieber, the starting pitchers for each team. Rally shoes will be out. Let's see whiches will be out.
You doing that bit, the rally shoe? Have you done that yet at home? That's a good question for you.
So it's so funny you said that. My wife came up and actually watched the game with me last night. Neither of us had shoes on. She's like, because at one point, it was like the 7th inning. She's like, you better get your rally cap out. And I'm like, looked at her, and she had bare feet. I was like, oh, there's no shoe. I was thinking the shoe. So I was too lazy to go downstairs. I didn't want to miss into the action, so I didn't go downstairs and get a shoe to put on top of my head. It's funny. They're tying the shoelaces around their chin.
Yeah, a little chin strap there for them.
Oh, man. The Walls have converged on Game 7 tonight. It'll be Kirby and Bieber. That's a scary matchup. Bieber looked really good last time he was on the bump. They hit Kirby a little bit. So we'll see. And look, Vlad Guerrero, back to Vlad for a second. Remember what he got paid? 14 years, $500 million. Like, he's earning it now, right now.
Worth it. Yeah, he's worth it.
Yeah.
A lot of those contracts.
He's only 26 years old.
I still remember when the Miami Marlins gave out that Giancarlo Stanton contract, one of those first double-digit year mega deals. And every year there's one of them, Harper, Soto. There's always one guy that gets the huge bag of money, Shohei, whatever. But Vlad has proven that his $500 million is very well spent.
He hit his 6th homer of the postseason last night. And now we've got a Game 7.
Postseason production is eons more
He's
important.
tied with Jose Batista and Joe Carter for the most postseason home runs in franchise history already.
Wow.
He's 26.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right, we got to get to the bracket. No, want to give you a look for people watching the show. Check out the graphic here. Here we go. Ridgeline is the number 1 overall seed in the upcoming 4A state football championship bracket. Crimson is the 2 seed. Okay. Crimson will have to wait and see who wins between Timpanogos and Bear River. That's who they'll play at home next Friday. Yep. Ridgeline will play the winner of East and Murray. Okay. Then you go to the 3 seed, another Region 9 team, Snow Canyon. Snow Canyon, we could get a Region 9 rerun if Desert Hills can go on the road to Cache Valley and beat Green Canyon. Green Canyon, Desert Hills is the 14-19 matchup. If Desert Hills can win on the road, they would play at Snow Canyon on Halloween. So that could be very intriguing for local football fans. And then the 4 seed, the Hurricane Tigers, Paulie, they would play the winner of Highland and Dixie. And assuming Highland has room for us in the press box, we are going to travel up to Highland High School Friday night, and we are planning on streaming and bringing you that game on radio on the simulcast as our Boulevard home game of the week. We don't have a home game this week. Yeah. The only 2 we could potentially cover is all the way up to Cache Valley, Desert Hills, Green Canyon. Our friends up at Cache Valley are going to broadcast that game, so we're going to have links up on that for all the Thunder fans out there, and then we'll go do that Dixie Highland game, so you'll be able to watch both of those games on the Fan Sports Network. Hurricane would play the winner of Highland Dixie. So can Dixie, who didn't win a region game, still go beat Highland and get a crack at Hurricane? We'll find out. Tigers, the 4 seed. This is a pretty tough draw. They'd have to go through Dixie and then maybe through Provo, who's the 5 seed. And then they would have to probably go through Ridgeline, the 1 seed. So if you look at the draw for all of the Region 9 teams, it's very obvious to me Hurricane will be up for the challenge. They've done a great job rekindling. They're still the 4 seed, but that is a very difficult spot to land in the bracket, if you ask me.
I would agree, yeah. I mean, Hurricane's going to have their run game going at full capacity, whether it be Dixie or Highland. I think that's a tough second-round matchup. And then Provo, one of the teams thought to be a little underseeded as far as how good their season was. So I would say, yeah, the Hurricanes probably got the toughest path of any Region 9 team just for the solo fact that Ridgeline is in their pod as well.
Just to put things in perspective, right? So Ridgeline is the 1, Crimson is the 2, Snow Canyon the 3, Hurricane the 4, Provo the 5, Pineview is 6, Stansbury is 7, and Park City is 8. Okay, yeah. Nolan Perry's power guide. Okay, different formula how he computes it versus the RPI. He's got Ridgeline 1, Crimson 2. Provo 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought. A little underseeded, I would have thought.
He's got Mountain Crest 4. Mountain Crest at 4. Mountain Crest at 4. They ended up 10s. He's got him 6 spots higher.
Interesting.
Okay. Park City, he's got a 5. They actually got 8. Skyview, he's got it 6. Okay. Skyview ended up, what did they end up? 9. Okay. Yeah. Snow Canyon 7.
3.
They ended up 3.
Yeah.
Hurricane 8, and they ended up 4. So Pineview ended up 6. Yeah. Nolan Perry has them 11.
Yeah, Nolan hasn't been too high on the Panthers throughout the year. He had them, I think, 14 or 15 preseason, so they've only climbed a little bit in his book.
Like the top teams, like 6A, Corner Canyon was the 1, Skyridge was the 2 in the bracket. That's who he's got at the rankings. Same in the 4A. 5A has Orem, the 1, West, the 2. But it gets cluttered behind that in 4A. So, all the RPI looks at when it seeds these teams into the bracket is your winning percentage, your opponent's winning percentage, and your opponent's winning percentage. Yeah. Weighed lighter as you go.
That's right.
And that's it. I would love to add a couple more elements into the RPI. Just a couple more elements into it. But as far as Region 9 reruns go, I don't mind. We don't have any in the first round. Great. And we could potentially only have 2 in the second round, which is great. It's going to happen. And then you look onto the quarters and the semis and the finals, and you never know.
If the higher seeded teams win, we'll have no reruns in the second round.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a good thing. Yep. That is. I mean, it would mean that 2 of our region teams lose, but if the higher seeds win out, then we're looking at no reruns in the second round of the 4A state playoff.
But you look at Pineview, Snow Canyon, and Desert Hills, they all could face each other in the second and third round potentially. We could have some. Because if Desert Hills beats Green Canyon, then the winner of Snow Canyon Desert Hills would play Pineview.
That's
if
what
they
I mean.
could beat
The higher seeded
teams.
Highland and Green Canyon are higher seeded than Dixie and Desert Hills.
I understand what you're saying.
So if the higher seeded teams win, the home teams win.
But I'm not so sure. Looked on based on the RPI rankings, where 4 Region 9 teams out of the 8 seeds, they think Region 9's tough.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me that Desert Hills can't beat Green Canyon or Dixie can't beat Highland, and I'm going to tell you, yes, they can. Yes, they can. In fact, I would be shocked if one of them didn't go on the road and win. Okay. I would be shocked if there wasn't at least one of those 2 wins. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
All right, more on the high school football all week long, getting you ready for the playoffs. We'll be checking in with Desert Hills and Dixie mainly this week, and then we'll be circling back to the other 4 teams next week. They all got the byes, so we only have 2 games this Friday night. We'll be talking a lot about the Holy War recap when we come back. Plus, we got the feud on 15 to get fired up for all weekend long. It's SUU at Utah Tech, so we're going to be talking about that. And we got a big soccer game tonight, and we got a Game 7 in the World Series. I feel like today is packed. This week is packed. Yeah. We got the Black Desert Championship.
We do. Starting Thursday, practice
the first round.
Today.
We're going to be spending some time out at Black Desert. I'm going to be out there a little bit Thursday, and I'm going to be out there a lot the whole day on Sunday.
Yeah.
There you go.
Might sneak out Wednesday for a few minutes.
Wednesday. Wednesday looks like the first day for me, I think.
We'll maybe go get some audio and watch some practice round on Wednesday. But Friday, we're going to have the show, and then we're pretty much have to hit the freeway.
Yeah.
So Friday, I'm not going to be able to go to the championship. And then Saturday, I got quite a bit going. I'm driving the Fan Sports Network truck in the homecoming parade.
Oh, nice.
And then I've got some I got to use my truck for a PA, and we're going to have some fun at a grand opening in the middle of the day, and then I'll be back to the game that night. So I'm going to be Thursday, Sunday are going to be my heavy PGA golf days.
All right, nice.
I wish I could just hang out there all weekend, to be honest with you. We got other stuff going on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, got to take a break. We'll be back in a flash. It's The Drive from the Findlay Hyundai Studios. Stick around. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Show today brought to you by Coral Canyon Golf Course. It is absolutely pure. They hosted one of the pre-qualifiers for today's Monday qualifier out at Coral Canyon last week. I think 66 and 67 were the two lowest scores. The top 9 and ties moved on today. There's going to be 4 more tickets punched today, Paulie, to Black Desert. The field is nearly set.
Like that.
For the Bank of Utah Championship out of Black Desert. So getting excited for that. We put a bow on the Holy War.
Yes.
And what a game it was Saturday night.
It was. It had the theatrics. It had the drama. It had the lead changes. It was
competitive. It was physical. It was chippy. There was questionable calls. It had everything that you love and hate about a rivalry game.
I want to go back.
What?
One thing that I was a little, it kind of jumped out to me during the game. I'm trying to find the amount of penalties called. It seemed like it was a pretty big disparity between Utah and BYU. Of course, BYU at home, 12 for 77 for Utah. 5 for 42 for BYU. Wasn't too.
It was lopsided
in the beginning.
In the beginning, at one point, you see lip reading. Kyle Whittingham's like, "You've called
zero,
on them."
Yeah, that was in the beginning of the second half. He did the zero thing. So in the beginning in the first half, BYU had no penalties called against them.
If there's one thing I know about Kyle Whittingham, this team will be resilient.
Yeah.
With Morgan Scalley in the defense. I think you got Colorado this week. Okay, you got 7 days to regroup, and you go pound Colorado, and you're back on track. I know that you lost the rivalry game. It stings. If it was Ohio State, Michigan, they would be talking about firing Kyle Whittingham. Not in Utah, not Coach Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
Other sensitive fans that can't handle it would go that route. That's not an option. He goes out on his terms and rides his Harley off in the sunset when he's ready, and then Morgan Scalley takes over. It's already been predetermined, and Coach Whittingham has earned that right. I was a little surprised Kyle came back this year, actually. I'm glad he did. This is a good Utah team and had
couldn't go out on last year's team.
No, couldn't go out.
No. Just had so many injuries at quarterback, so many injuries in general. I mean, the Rising's inability to get healthy for those 2 years after they won back-to-back Pac-12 titles, they were depending on Barnes and Nate Johnson and all kinds of different quarterbacks throughout those 2-year period where it really hampered, I think, Utah's culture a little bit. I mean, they had won, I think, 7 out of 10 or 7 out of 9 of these Holy War games. And now BYU, it's shifted. They've won 3 in a row. It has firmly shifted the balance of power in the state of Utah.
And the all-time series is still Utah by
the all-time, but I'm talking about right now.
But now you're up to 10th in one poll. You're up to 11th in the other poll. Utah's thinking about a bounce back, and now you're trying to avoid a letdown because we remember what happened last year. They beat Utah by a point, then lost 2 in a row. Just the next week after Kansas, they lost again last year.
Yeah.
They were 9-0, and then they dropped 2 games in a row, and then you're out of the playoff conversation.
That's
just
right.
like that.
Then you're talking Alamo Bowl and all that.
And that was at 9-0. So Cougar fans, don't punch your playoff ticket yet. That is my point. Like, great win. You're now undefeated. You're 7-0, but Iowa State was on a bye last week.
Correct.
They sat back and they scouted you. They're going to have a game plan. They're at home. So now they've got to go and win to really, it's like, it's a validation point for me. Okay, you beat your rivals again for the 3rd straight year. You point that out, Paul.
Yeah.
But now to validate that you've arrived as a program and that you're a true contender for the Big 12, now you got to go back it up and validate a rivalry win.
One of the hardest places to play in the Big 12.
100%.
Guess the number in that. BYU undefeated 11th in the country. Iowa State 5-2.
Iowa State is -115. BYU is -105.
Iowa State -3 right now.
Wow.
3 points right now is favoring the Cyclones at home. Ames, like I said, one of the toughest places to play. Iowa State probably should be ranked, but they're not. But still, you've got Texas Tech on the road in Lubbock the week after, and then you've got Cincinnati on 11/22, another ranked opponent. So all the talk about BYU's early season being easy, and it was. Portland State, Stanford, ECU, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, but now Utah, who you beat, Iowa State on the road, Texas Tech, and Cincinnati, and TCU, who's a pretty good ball club too.
I'm kind of glad they're going to Iowa State over Texas Tech after a loss. I think at least they get a week in between.
Oh, man. If you would have gone into Texas Tech after they lost and they're going to get Baron Morton back, their starting quarterback, I think you're going into probably whacking a hornet's nest.
What's crazy, though, is I watched some of that Arizona State, Texas Tech.
They look bad.
Arizona State matched their physicality, and I thought that's why Texas Tech bullied Utah. Was they were opportunistic.
Front.
They were very physical in the trenches up front. Yes, and that wasn't the case against ASU.
Arizona State was pushing
and Arizona
Tech
State's
off the
different
line.
with Chase Leavitt at quarterback.
They are.
He was not available against Utah. Don't forget
Sam
that.
Leavitt.
Sam Leavitt. Sorry.
Yeah, he's really good, and he proved to be the difference. And Tech made a late comeback. I was watching that game. It was on Fox. It was an awesome game. They took the lead.
Had a Hail Mary at the end.
They took the lead, and then Arizona State and Dillingham just would not die. I just love Dillingham's one of my favorites just because I don't think he always does the analytical right thing to do by the book. He'll go for it. He'll risk it all, and he did, and he won over one of the best teams in the country. I mean, Tech seemed like a steam engine that was just rolling through the Big 12, and it gets stopped out there in Tempe.
Yeah, I mean, I think BYU learns from last year, right? They were on that high of beating Utah, but then they go lose.
Can't have the letdown.
I think they're going to put all their emphasis into getting ready. They'll watch the film today or Saturday night or Sunday morning, whenever they watch film. They're going to really get in recovery mode, get their bodies right. I don't think you're going to see them celebrating too much. It's only a 7-0 start.
It's 7-0.
They were 9-0 last year.
They were 9-0. That's right.
And I think that has to be
that looms large,
right in the back of their mind. Like, let's not let that happen again. Let's stay uber focused. So BYU up in the rankings, undefeated. The Big 12 now becomes kind of wide open.
Yeah. BYU's got the inside track with no losses in conference.
And the schedule they play, they can protect that inside track. They don't even have to go undefeated. They just need to win 3 of the next 4, right?
They've got to beat either Iowa State, Tech, TCU, Cincinnati, and they end the season home to UCF. So I think if they win 4 out of 5 of those, they're probably safe. I think they can drop one game in that mix.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting.
Good stuff. All right. Good win for the Cougars, 24-21. That was our tiebreaker on our Zach picks of the week.
Yeah.
We'll get those.
Got to get those graded up.
We'll get those graded out. We'll get the new picks up for this week. So watch for that. NFL. Let's. Great slate in the NFL. The morning window, there was a lot of blowouts. I mean, the Rams in London just cruised past the Jab. Stafford threw 5 touchdowns, 35-7. Bears Saints was one of the more competitive morning games, but Bears win again. Saints are just not very good.
Eagles Vikes was pretty good.
Eagles Vikes ended up being good.
Yeah.
Eagles winning 28-22. Chiefs just smashed. What is it about the Raiders right now? I mean, I guess you got to start holding Pete Carroll accountable.
Let me give you a dud for studs and duds. How about Geno Smith?
Yeah, for sure.
He got benched. He had 2 points as a quarterback. I mean, that's pretty hard to do in fantasy football.
10 of 16 for 67 yards.
Yeah.
Didn't throw an interception.
No, just really was scared to throw anywhere. I mean, he just looked like he was afraid of the Chiefs' defense.
And the Chiefs, if you remember where I had them in the Dirty Dozen last week, I've got them moving back up.
They're climbing
up. Moving back up.
They'll be in the penthouse here soon with me because they just keep on winning.
Jets are 0-7. They lost at home to the Panthers. If you're looking at Jets' schedule, you're like, that was a winnable game, and they just couldn't make plays to win.
13-6. Wow.
Yeah. Vrabel's revenge game, no problem. That was Tara's eliminator pick. She had the Patriots over the Titans.
She's been on Drake May. That's been her guy since the offseason, and Hunter Henry for that matter.
Yeah. Yep.
Cowboys, Redskins, everybody's asking me what I love about that game, and to pick winner, I'm like, I like the over. 66 total points scored in that game. Paulie United was talking about that. That was an easy over play.
Yeah,
it was 55. It was a high number,
Dallas's defense was like worse in the league against the run. Washington's worse against the pass. It was just things that were adding up to being over. I think the over was, 53?
55.
Oh, 55.
Yeah.
So it flew
11 points over,
soared over that total.
The game of the day yesterday really was Broncos-Giants.
Yes, my survivor pick.
Giants have got some good energy right now since they went to Jackson Dart and Scatabo,
and you warned
me.
It. You warned me, and you saw the forecast of murky waters for the Broncos.
I think the Giants are playing inspired football with these young guys.
I'm not going to pick another team going against the Giants. That's for sure. They're scary.
Since 2010, when leading by 19 points in the fourth quarter, that was the biggest collapse for the Giants have had since 2010. So it's been 15 years since they had a fourth quarter collapse like that.
Yeah,
and this hasn't been a very good football team where they've had leads. So
I had the next gen stats. It was like the third most improbable comeback since the next gen stat era began.
Something like that.
Eighth most improbable of the next gen stats since 2016.
The other thing to point out from the NFL slate, and I know we're getting close to running out of time. Busy show. I wish we had more time this morning. But Colts Chargers, with the Colts win on the road against the Chargers, they're the only one-loss team left in the NFL. And Danny Dimes does it another tremendous performance, and Jonathan Taylor has three touchdowns.
Yep.
Alec Pierce looks like a Pro Bowler. Tyler Warren is the best tight end in the draft. The Colts are humming. The Colts.
The Colts have surprised me. I didn't think any team with Daniel Jones leading them would be this good, but they have proven me wrong.
Yeah. I thought Green Bay's defense, I was watching some of the Cardinals-Packers game in the afternoon window.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is Green Bay's defense, the first 2 weeks we thought they were world beaters, and now that they're letting Jacoby Brissett almost beat them?
Is it just me, or is Jacoby Brissett better
than Kyler Murray? He might be 25 of 36, 279 and 2.
He's just a vet. He just knows how to run the offense. I think Kyler tries to do too much all the time. They looked better with Jacoby Brissett.
By the way, how about Christian McCaffrey? A little throwback game to vintage 2022 or 2023 Run CMC, where he ran for 129 and 2 and caught 7 more for 72. So over 200 yards. Good stuff from Run CMC. That leaves 2 games tonight. Bucks Lions at your 5:15 game. We'll be hosting our watch party at Wingnuts. I'm inviting you. If you say go Mariners, you get 5 extra raffle tickets.
That's the code word tonight. Go Mariners.
If you say go Seahawks, you get 5 extra raffle tickets tonight. We'll see you at Wingnuts. Have a great Monday, everybody. We out of here.